All right, thank you very much. Greetings to the members of the media and the leadership of the EFF. And I'm told that some of the TV stations are carrying us live. We greet our fellow South Africans. I've been asked to come and brief you about the coalition discussions following the 2016 local government elections. Now, the arrangement here is such that we're exposed to the sun, and the white paper is dealing with my eyes. So I will try to speak to the issues as raised in the statement. After our press conference at the IEC Center, where we said we are done with elections and we are proceeding with the business of the EFF, we were then called to a meeting by Paul Mashatile, the chairperson of the ANC in Gauteng, who asked to see us. And we availed ourselves, myself, the deputy president, and the national chairperson. And Paul Mashatile came with the premier of Gauteng, David Makura, and the provincial secretary, Hope Up. And we briefly discussed, and we made it very clear to them that we are not comfortable talking to a province because we are the national leadership, and will be comfortable talking to their national leadership. And they said they will pass the message to their national leadership. And then the Secretary General of the ANC called. We had a brief meeting with him, and then we agreed that we are prepared to meet them, and the team was assembled from the ANC. And that team was Gwede Mantashe, Jesse Duarte, Zweli Mukize, Andries Nel, and Jeff Radel. And from our side, it was the EFF officials with the spokesperson of the EFF. In the discussions, we told the ANC that we are more than prepared to work with them, and we are giving them our votes, and we do not want to discuss positions because none of us in the EFF requires of any position in the municipality. But we asked the ANC to meet the following conditions. The first one was that they must take our 6% offer to amend the constitution and expropriate land without compensation. The second one was that we need to nationalize mines, banks, and strategic sectors of our economy. The third one was that we need free education immediately. The fourth one was that the stem must be removed from the national anthem because it's a symbol of apartheid. And the fifth one was that they must eradicate the e-tolls in Gauteng. And then the sixth one was that they should not sign any nuclear deal with the Russians. The seventh one was that we need a judicial inquiry on the Guptas. And then the last one was that we need Jacob Zuma to go as a president of the Republic, because we have no power to ask them to remove him as a president of the ANC. But as a shareholder in this company called South Africa, we have the right to ask them to recall him as a president of the Republic. The ANC welcomed the input from the EFF and asked that they must be given an opportunity to go and reflect with their collective, and they will come back. They went back to reflect with their collective, and they came back on all issues. There were no non-committal. On the issue of the land, they said we are together. They are talking about expropriation with compensation. They are even talking about expropriation bill, which is before Parliament and has been taken to court. And we said to them, we have heard that story before, and therefore we do not want things that are non-committal. On nationalization of mines and banks, we couldn't hear them except to say that there is an existing small mining company owned by the state, and that we must use the Post Bank to establish a state-owned company, state-owned bank. And on free education, they said they've got a Polokwane resolution on free education, but we must subject it to the process of the commission. And then this term, they said, well, it can be removed easily because it just needs the president who's got the powers to do so. But we have to take the country into confidence and bring everybody along so that we are together. On the nuclear deal, they said there is no nuclear deal at the moment, and therefore we cannot talk about the deal which is non-existent. On the Guptas, they said they will rather establish a commission which investigate the state capture and all families that are affected by this, the state capture and all those sort of things. And on President Zuma, they said it was a no-no. And now we said to them that we do not have time for processes. We think that the ANC should commit so that when we go out to talk to our people, there is a clear position and reasons why we are in marriage with the ANC. And we explained that we cannot subject the issue of the land to the bills they are talking about. We want to amend the constitution. And to amend the constitution, you need 2/3 majority, and the 6% is there to amend the constitution. On nationalization, we told them that we want to nationalize existing mines and then expand the state-owned mining company, which must be given a preference when licenses are issued. It must not be that the state-owned mining company competes at the same level with private-owned companies. We want the state-owned mining company to be given a preference over the private-owned companies. It must be expanded and all those type of things, including the bank. And we could not find each other. On the nuclear deal, we told them that if you say there is no nuclear deal at the moment, then if we were to agree, there must not be any nuclear deal with Russians for the duration of the marriage between the EFF and the ANC. And we told them that there is a nuclear deal. The budget already presented has allocated 200 million for the nuclear deal processes. And Nene was fired because of the nuclear deal. And that Zuma and the Guptas have already received money, bribe, on the nuclear deal. And that the current Minister of Energy, Tina Jumard, she's been threatened of being removed if she doesn't sign the nuclear deal. And that we are even aware that the president has asked for legal opinion on shifting the nuclear deal from energy into a security cluster so that it can be dealt with as a security cluster matter, because the security cluster is constituted by the most corrupt people which is in control of. And the legal opinion came back saying that already the matter has been referred to Treasury, and therefore if he is shifted to to security cluster, it will create suspicions. And that's why the matter is in Treasury, as it were. On the Gupta inquiry, they said to us they are prepared to do the inquiry, but must be inquiry that captures everyone and all that. And then I remember we said to them, when you go to police station to open a case of murder against this person, the police will not say to you, well, this case of murder will be clubbed with many other cases of murder, and then we'll investigate the cases of murder in this police station. We thought that was insulting to the EFF. We are specifically asking that there must be an inquiry on the Guptas, and the ANC is not committed to that. We said it was going to be very difficult for us to enter into an agreement with President Zuma, who's presiding over a corrupt state. Kleptocracy which is existing in this country, institutionalized by Zuma, will make it very difficult of us to enter into any agreement with the ANC. And because we are people who have an imagination, we're already imagining ourselves signing a deal with the ANC and shaking hands with Zuma. It was not going to be a very beautiful picture. It was going to be an insult to South Africans who voted against kleptocracy and corruption. And we feel very strong that it is not about an individual. It's about this corruption which President Zuma is promoting in South Africa. Now the ANC asked to go back to the NEC to talk amongst ourselves, and then they came back and they were still waffling and saying the same things. And we are happy to announce that there is no deal between the EFF and the ANC. Now we moved to the DA, the party of white racists. And then we went to them and said to the DA, well, they called us and said to us that they want to talk to us about coalition. We put a similar condition to the DA. Let's expropriate the land without compensation. They said they don't have power. We said to them, we don't want you to amend the constitution. We know you don't have power. But we want to sit in the same press conference with you and pronounce on the policy of expropriation of land without compensation. And we also asked them to nationalize the mines, banks which are owned predominantly by white males. We asked them to support us to remove the stem from the national anthem because it's a symbol of apartheid. Well, the DA was amenable on that point. They were ready to talk. And Musi was even saying to me, it's like asking the Jews to sing the song of Hitler and all those type of things. And we asked them not to change the name of Tshwane. It must be Tshwane. They were saying no, they are agreeing with that, but we must also not change the Pretorius Street. And we said no, anything that reminds our people of apartheid must be removed. We had a discussion, several meetings with the DA on these points, and we seem not to be agreeing with the DA. And therefore, we said to the DA as well, we need the issue of free education. The DA is sympathetic to the call for free education, but they are non-committal to make such a pronouncement. We are happy to announce that there is no deal with the DA. Therefore, we couldn't find each other with the DA. We are happy to say to our people that we will not be going into a coalition with anyone. Therefore, the EFF will be assuming its seats as an opposition. We feel very strong that the EFF must earn its position in the municipalities and provincial government. The EFF must not want to get power through a shortcut. We have seen in the recent past, after the elections, a lot of letters from some members of the EFF who are fighting to be in the PR list, even when they've not made it. They started accusing their own colleagues of laziness and claiming that they worked harder than their colleagues, which is a clear evidence of opportunism in the EFF. Something that we need to deal with decisively. Because those who want to be in the PR of the EFF, majority of them were ward candidates. They did not win their wards, yet they claim to have worked very hard. So there is no one who's going to be in power through a shortcut. We want to send a strong warning to all EFF members who think that they can threaten the organization, that the doors are open for them to leave, because EFF is not a home of opportunists. No one is going to want to be a mayor at all costs, including compromising the principles of the EFF because you want to be a mayor or a speaker or some committee chairperson. All of those people who are looking to become something important in the municipality through a shortcut, they must know there is no such a room here in the EFF. We are building this organization from the ground. We are building it slowly. We are building it through an intensive program which will teach our members organizational discipline and respect, which will teach our members the love for the organization and not love for positions. All of those who wanted to be in the PR even when they've lost their municipalities and claim to have worked hard and threatened to disrupt the organization will be taking disciplinary measures against them. Anyone who threatens to disrupt EFF office, who threatens to block EFF members from being sworn in the municipalities, is individuals who are bringing the ANC culture of fighting for positions in the EFF. But South Africa, be rest assured, the EFF will not be neutral in this politics. We know that they are hung municipalities, and for us to be neutral will be cowardice.